fell in love, a simple English love story for beginners. Welcome to my channel today. I want to tell you something very special. A story about love, but not just love for a person. Love for life, for growth, for change. Because sometimes falling in love is not just romance, it's transformation. Have you ever fallen in love with something that changed your life forever? Comment below. I want to hear your story. Chapter 1. I did not know it was love. I did not know it was love. Not in the beginning. It was just a small moment, but something inside me changed. I remember that day clearly. I was sitting alone in the park. The sky was soft and gray. People walked by, some holding hands, some talking, some just passing. I had my phone in my hand, but I wasn't doing anything. My heart felt quiet, but not in a good way. It was a heavy quiet, like I was missing something, but I didn't know what. Then I heard a voice. It was soft but strong. It came from a young girl sitting near me. She was reading a book in English. Her voice was calm. Her eyes were full of light. I couldn't understand all the words, but I could feel the beauty in her tone. And in that small moment, something touched me. My heart moved. My mind became quiet. I just listened. I didn't know what I felt. It was not excitement. It was not fear. It was something new. I wanted to understand her. I wanted to know what that book said. I wanted to feel what she felt when she read those words, but I couldn't because I didn't speak English that night. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Her voice, her smile, the way she turned the page so slowly, like every word mattered. I had never seen someone love something like that, and it made me wonder, have I ever loved anything that way? I tried to sleep, but my mind was full of questions. Why did that moment feel so special? Why did it make me feel awake, like my heart was trying to tell me something? Maybe you have felt this too. A small moment that doesn't make sense, but it stays in your heart. A smile, a sound, a word, a dream. It follows you quietly. That night, I searched online. I typed "Learn English for Beginners." I didn't know why. I just wanted to feel close to that world. I wanted to hear those words again. I found a short video. The voice said, "Hello, how are you?" I repeated it. I said, "Hello, how are you?" It sounded strange in my mouth. I laughed. Then I said it again. "Hello, how are you?" I didn't stop. It felt funny. It felt good. It felt new. And maybe it felt like the beginning of something. The next day, I went to a small bookstore. I asked the man there, "Do you have English books? Easy ones." He smiled and said, "Yes, follow me." He gave me a book with pictures and simple words. I held it like a treasure. It was small, it was light, but in my hands it felt like the world. I opened it and read the first page. I could not understand most of it, but I could say some words: cat, dog, tree boy, girl. I smiled. I didn't know these words yesterday, and now I do. That made me feel alive. That made me feel something warm. I went home and read the same page again and again. I didn't feel bored. I felt happy. I felt safe. I didn't know it then, but I was falling in love. Not with a person, but with the sound of learning, with the feeling of becoming someone new. I didn't tell anyone. I kept it in my heart. Every night, I watched one English video. I repeated one English sentence. I learned one English word. I didn't rush. I didn't rush. I didn't rush. I didn't push. I just followed that small feeling. It was like walking in the dark with a candle. The road was not clear, but I kept going. Something inside me said, "This is good. Keep going." I was shy to speak. I made mistakes. I said apple when I meant orange. I said good morning at night. But I didn't stop because this time I was not learning for a test. I was not learning to show off. I was learning because it made my heart full, because it gave me light. And now when I look back, I can say it clearly. That was love. I just didn't know it then. Maybe your story is like mine. Maybe you saw something, heard something, felt something, and it stayed in your heart. You didn't know why, but now you do. It was the beginning, the first seed of love. Not a big moment, just a quiet one, but it changed everything, and it can happen to you too. If you feel it, follow it. You don't need to understand everything now. Just take one step, say one word, feel one feeling. That's how all great stories begin. That's how mine began. And maybe that's how yours will begin too. Chapter 2, I wanted to understand. The days passed, but that feeling did not go away. I kept thinking about that voice, that book, and the words I didn't understand. I wanted to go back to the park. I wanted to see her again. Not because I loved her, but because she showed me something beautiful, something I didn't know before. She showed me that language could feel like music, that words could be soft and full of meaning. I wanted to understand not just the words, but the feeling, the way English made her eyes shine. I wanted to feel that too. He's not trying to learn fast. I was trying to learn deep, to connect, to understand something bigger than myself. I wanted to speak. I wanted to listen. I wanted to feel the meaning behind each sentence. And that want, it was strong, like hunger, like love. I started small. I took my little book everywhere. On the bus, in the shop, before bed, I looked at the words and said them out loud. Boy, girl, apple book. At first, they were just sounds, but slowly, they became part of me. I saw an apple, and I said apple, and I said apple. I looked at the sky and said blue. These were not just words anymore. They were doors, doors to a new world, a world where I could speak, a world where I could understand. It made me excited. It also made me scared because sometimes I made mistakes. I said the wrong words. I felt stupid. I felt small, but I remembered her calm voice. The way she read slowly with care, she did not rush. So I didn't rush either. I let the words enter me like soft rain, one by one, drop by drop. I watched videos with subtitles. I watched English cartoons. I did not understand much, but I listened. So listen like my life depended on it. I repeated what I heard. I whispered the words again and again. I wrote them in a notebook. Sometimes I would stop the video and just say one sentence 10 times. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. I don't know. These small sentences gave me power. They made me feel like I could talk to the world. And the more I learned, the more I wanted. It felt like magic, like learning how to fly. I looked at old things in new ways. A cup was not just a cup, it was a cup. A chair was a chair. A smile became happy. My world started to grow word by word. I practiced in the mirror. I looked at myself and said, hello, my name is Adam. I felt shy. I felt silly, but I also felt proud. I was not silent anymore. I was trying, and that trying made me feel brave. I knew I was still a beginner, but I also knew I was not the same person I was before. Something had changed. I had changed. I was becoming someone who wanted to understand, someone who cared, someone who was learning with heart, not just with the head. That was the biggest change because learning from books is not enough. You have to learn with love, with feeling, with a reason. One day I heard a man speaking English on the street. I understood one sentence, just one. He said, "It's a beautiful day," and I smiled because I knew that sentence. I had learned it. I had said it. Now I heard it in real life. It felt like a gift, like a sign that I was on the right path, that I was getting closer, that I was not just watching from far away anymore. I was starting to be part of the story. That moment made me emotional. What It was so small, but it was huge for me. I almost cried, not because I was sad, but because I was proud, because I understood even a little. If you are learning English right now, maybe you feel like I did, maybe you want to understand too. Maybe the words feel too fast, too big, too strange. But don't give up. Don't stop. Understanding doesn't come in one day. It comes like light through a small window, bit by bit. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to understand something, a word, a line, a feeling. And that is enough. That is how it begins. That is how love grows. So keep going. Keep trying. One day you will hear someone speak English and you will smile because you will understand. And in that moment, you will know it was all worth it. Chapter 3. The moment I knew. You remember that day like it was yesterday. The sun was warm. The street was full of life. People were walking, talking, moving fast. But my heart was slow. I had just come out of a small library. I was holding a book in English, a simple one. I had borrowed it to practice. I sat down on a bench outside. I opened the book and began to read slowly, carefully, one word at a time. The pages were soft. The story was easy. A boy, a dog, a dream. And suddenly something strange happened. I forgot I was reading in English. I was just reading. I was inside the story. I was feeling every word. I understood the boy's feelings. I understood his dream. It was simple, but it touched my heart. I didn't feel like a learner anymore. I felt like I belonged, and right there, in that small, quiet moment, I knew I had fallen in love. It was not a big thing. There was no music, no bright light, no one watching, just me, a book, a feeling. But it was clear, it was strong. I had found something that gave me joy, that gave me hope, that made me feel alive, and that something was English. I never thought this would happen. I used to be afraid of English. I used to run away from it. I used to think it was too hard, too far, not for people like me, but now I wanted more. You wanted to read more, speak more, listen more. I wanted to grow. I wanted to become someone who could love a new language, a new world, a new version of myself. That same evening, I went home and looked at myself in the mirror. I smiled. I said, I love this. I really do. And then I cried. Yes, I cried. Not because I was sad, but because I felt full. My heart was full for the first time in a long time. I felt proud of myself, not for being perfect, but for being real, for trying, for feeling something so deep. Saw in love with a person. I fell in love with a journey, a path, a new life, a better me. After that moment, everything changed. I started to learn faster, not because I was smarter, but because I cared more. When you love something, you give it your heart. Your heart is powerful. I listened to English with more focus. I repeated words with more joy. I made mistakes with more confidence because I wasn't learning for a test anymore. I was learning for me, for the person I was becoming that gave me energy, that gave me peace. I started talking to myself in English. Just small things. I am tired. Let's go. I can do this. These small sentences became my friends, my partners. They were always with me. I said them on the bus, while cooking before sleep. It felt like I had a new voice inside me, a soft voice that helped me believe. I started dreaming in English, not every night, but sometimes. And when I woke up, I smiled because even in my sleep, I was trying. Even in my dreams, my love for English was growing. One day, I helped a traveler on the street. She was lost. She asked, "Can you help me?" I said, yes, I can. I gave her directions. I used my words slowly. She smiled and said, your English is good. And in that moment, I felt something huge. I did it. I really did it. I really did it. I spoke. I helped. I understood. That was the moment I knew I was not the same person anymore. That love had changed me. That learning had made me strong. If you're listening to this, maybe you are still waiting for your moment. Maybe you're not sure yet. Maybe the words still feel strange. That's okay. Your moment will come. One day you will understand something you didn't before. One day you will say a full sentence and it will feel easy. One day someone will thank you in English and you will smile. That's when you'll know. That's when it will hit you. You did not just learn a language. You fell in love with it, so don't stop now. Keep going. Your moment is close, just like mine was. And when it comes, you will remember it forever, like I remember mine, chapter 4. I still love it today. Time passed, the days turned into weeks. The weeks became months. Still, I kept learning, I kept practicing. I still made mistakes. I still forgot words. I still felt shy sometimes. But my heart stayed strong. My love for English did not go away. It grew deeper, softer, stronger, like a tree that started as a small seed. Now the tree has roots. Now the tree gives me shade, peace, and joy. I did not fall out of love. I fell deeper into it. Every new word I learn makes me feel alive. Every time I understand someone, I feel proud. Every day I speak with more confidence, not because I am perfect, but because I remember where I started and I'm grateful. Sometimes people ask me, how did you learn English? I smile. I tell them I fell in love with it, not with the grammar, not with the rules, but with the feeling, the journey, the little moments, a kind word from a stranger, a line from a song, a book that made me cry. These small things built my love, and that love gave me strength. You see, love is not always about a person. Love can be for a language, for a dream, for a version of yourself that you are becoming. That is what English gave me. It gave me a new me. Now I help others. I share my story. I teach what I know. I listen to people who feel the same fear I once felt. I tell them, you are not alone. I was like you. I was scared too. And when I say this, I see their eyes light up, because they feel hope, and hope is the first step to love. You do not need to speak perfect English to feel it. You just need to care. You just need to try. You just need to say, this matters to me. That's enough. Every day, I still practice. I watch videos. I read books. I talk with friends, but now I do it with a full heart. I do it with joy. Sometimes I laugh at my mistakes. Sometimes I feel proud of my progress. And sometimes I sit quietly, close my eyes, and think how far I've come. I think of that girl in the park, the soft voice. The book, that moment, I want to thank her because she changed my life without knowing it. She showed me something beautiful, and I followed that feeling. That was the best decision of my life. Maybe you are just beginning. Maybe you feel unsure. Maybe you think, can I really do this? Let me tell you, yes, you can. You don't have to be fast. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to love the process. Say one word. Learn one line. Speak to yourself in the mirror. Listen to songs. Write your thoughts. Smile when you learn something new. Be kind to yourself. Every little step matters. And soon, without knowing it, you'll look back and say, I did it. And you'll keep going because you will not just be learning anymore. You will be living it, loving it. I still fall in love with English every day, with new words, new feelings, new ways to express myself. It never ends, and I never want it to end, because this love is not just about English. It's about becoming who I truly am. It's about finding my voice, finding my power, finding my peace, and I believe you will find yours too. So keep learning, keep dreaming, keep loving, and one day you will tell your story too, and someone somewhere will listen and feel that same spark, just like I did. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to my story. If this touched your heart, if you felt something true inside you, Then don't keep it quiet like this video. Subscribe to my channel for more stories and lessons. And please leave a comment below. Have you ever fallen in love with something that changed your life? You want to read your story because your words can give someone else hope. Just like one small moment gave it to me. Keep learning, keep loving, and never stop growing.